Hello, welcome back to episode 11 of the Folding Towers podcast.
So exciting.
Why is that, Jackie?
We've had some feedback recently. One of our listeners was saying that she has used our podcast for CPE by writing a reflection piece, submitting that to her association. It's very exciting.
When we started this podcast 3 months ago, I never thought about doing that.
Me neither. That's pretty clever, actually. So, top tip today if you need some CPE points.
Awesome. Well, we are Jackie and David. Well, I'm David anyway.
And I'm Jackie.
And this is a Folding Towers podcast where we talk about all the things they probably should have told you in massage school, and we answer the questions you've desperately wanted to ask for so long.
We have got a hot topic again today, David.
We sure do. We're talking about consent. It's like when you go on an excursion at school, so your parents know where you are and what you're doing, and you're just all excited because you're not at school.
Not quite, but okay.
Yeah, so before we get into that, what are you reading at the moment, Jackie?
What am I reading? I'm not really reading anything.
You've had a bit of time off work this week.
I have, yeah. I haven't been 100% well, so I have had a few days off work here and there. Yes.
Boo hiss.
Yes, definitely. What about you, David? What's been on the back of your eyeballs this week?
I have come across a really cool YouTube channel, and apparently it's been around for quite some time, so it's new to me, not to anyone else. And it's by an anatomist by the name of Jill Headley, and the YouTube channel is called Somanaut, Somanaut, and Jill has got this collection of short videos all about anatomy stuff. And the one which just was mind blown was when he unwrapped a heart from its fascial connections and this spiral of muscle opened up.
Oh my gosh, wow.
It was pretty cool, not going to lie. Let's talk about consent. When we started putting this episode together, Jackie said to me, David, you sound really angry.
Yes, you did. And you're not usually an angry person, so why was that?
Something just makes me so cross because as a guy working in what is a female-dominated industry, and by that I mean around 75% of massage practitioners are female, I hear so much about where guys have intentionally or unintentionally done bad things. And recently I got to talk to a colleague who sits on the ethics committee of an association, and he talked about how much of their work is dealing with complaints, usually about male practitioners, and often where they've done something without consent. So I'm not necessarily talking about criminal things, because that's just a whole nother bunch of frustration.
Mm-hmm. I find that in a lot of instances, it's some of our older practitioners that are perhaps a little bit flippant and perhaps a little bit too comfortable and forget to check in with their clients before they do things. And by older, I don't mean age-wise, I mean experience.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So people that have been doing massage for a long time. And in our training, we do talk about informed consent. It's something that is discussed, but there's also something called implied consent. So informed consent is where we educate our clients about exactly what we're doing, what we're testing, we measure to explain our findings, what we want to do, and explain what it might possibly feel like, side effects. We ask permission and we give the client the opportunity to opt in or to opt out. But we're going to talk more about that in a minute.
Yeah, because the other side of things is implied consent. And this is where someone comes in and directly tells you that they've got, say, a pain in their butt. And while you can't automatically assume that the person is completely okay with exposing their butt and you grabbing handfuls of flesh, no matter how intentioned you are, you can assume that because they've specifically mentioned their butt, that you have a level of permission to do some work there. But look, I still recommend saying something like, you've mentioned your glutes, and then I'll point or gesture to my own butt. I might broadly pass my hand over my hip and say, would you like me to do some work through that area today? Done.
I think you might have just turned implied consent into informed consent, David.
Totally. Yeah. Whilst it's mentioned in textbooks, I don't feel that implied consent really has a place.
No, no. And it's right. It is when they come in and they tell you, okay, I have a pain here, I have a pain here. So that they're letting you know this is kind of what I want. But it's up to us to get actual informed consent and say, okay, I'm going to work on this area, this area, and this area, and this is what we're going to do, X, Y, Z in this order. And then they can go, yeah, that sounds amazing. Let's do that.
Yeah. Back in, I can't even say how long ago it was. You'd be encouraged to write down your treatment plan, and you'd present your treatment plan in notes to your client on the table, and then they would sign the treatment plan and say, "Today we're going to work on this, and this, and this," and then that would be in their files. And I think we've gone back to being a little bit more reasonable, and I don't disagree with that being important, but certainly at least talking to the person first about, hey, you've mentioned this, you've mentioned that, why don't we do some work here? I think we should pick up that part as well. How does that feel? And then they give their verbal consent, and you pop it in your notes, discuss this and consent gained. But yes, it's really just crossing out all those opportunities for ambiguity.
Yes, 100%. You've got a couple of stories you want to tell us.
There's lots of things which we need consent for, and it could be around the products that we use with our clients. And maybe they've got a skin sensitivity. Maybe they've got an allergy. In my own misgivings, I had a client who came in who was vegan. The massage product that I often use has beeswax in it. And this was their second time seeing me. They had specifically mentioned their first treatment, please don't use anything with beeswax. The second treatment, I forgot. And I smeared it on their back. And they've never seen me again, which is just the way that it is. But yeah, I wanted to tell you a story about my own experience of where informed consent was not gained. And it wasn't in a massage. It was when I went to the optometrist, and they spotted something, and the optometrist said, "Oh, I'd like to take another look at that. But to do that, I need to put some drops in your eyes." So she put the drops in my eyes, and my pupils dilated, my vision went blurry, and I couldn't see properly for over 3 hours, and I was super sensitive to bright light. And it was only after she had looked in the back of my eyes, she said, "Oh, are you being picked up today?" I said, "Well, actually, I am." "Oh, that's good, because you won't be able to drive for about 3 hours." And I feel that that's probably, she should have known to ask. And I should have had the opportunity to say yes or no.
100%. This is a big whoopsie. Big one. Big whoopsie.
Yep.
Yes.
Can just imagine if my job was, say, a truck driver or something along those lines.
Well, regardless of that, you might have had places that you had to be. You might have had to go and pick your kids up, or, maybe you had to go to work right after.
I couldn't even cross the road.
No, a lot of us squeeze in appointments like that between clients, especially working for ourselves. Yeah, I would have been really annoyed.
So on that topic of putting things on people, I do know of a massage therapist who, well-intentioned, uses red-lipped mussel oil as an anti-inflammatory with their clients, and without thinking, applied some to the person's back, and that person had an allergy to shellfish. Luckily, it wasn't anaphylaxis, but the person did have a reaction. And it's just one of those examples of where consent starts with taking a really good history of our clients and asking, do you have any sensitivities or allergies? Is there something I need to be aware of in your background? And then knowing exactly what is in your product before you use it.
Yeah, that is a big one. If you're using anything, you need to know what's in it. Every single ingredient that makes the product, and what it can potentially do, particularly if we're using a wide variety of things. Yeah, that's a big mistake to make, unfortunately.
Yeah, that one could have been life-threatening for the client and career-ending for the therapist.
Yes, yes.
And then there's some things where often we're invited to work in sensitive areas of the body, or it may be someone who presents with, say, a shoulder issue. And in our mind, we know that the shoulder isn't just the back of the person's upper arm, but also includes the muscles through the front of the body. And perhaps before you go and touch their pectoral muscles, you might want to say and explain why it is that you feel it's important to work in that area, and ask them, are you okay for me to do work in that area? Same with the pelvis, same with the people's buttocks, because there is a case of a massage therapist who practiced kahuna massage. If you haven't had kahuna massage, the person is often very lightly draped on the table, if draped at all. It's a very flowing form of massage, and this particular therapist, following their routine, proceeded to work on the pubic bone of their client. And the client went into a freeze response. They didn't feel the ability to speak up. And someone just, because we're often strangers to our clients, particularly the very first meeting we are, a stranger massaging your pubic bone, you just can't assume that to be client knowledge. Yeah, big whoopsie.
Yeah. I just want to point out that response, that freeze response, and not being able to speak up, even if you are a massage therapist and you are very comfortable, with being undressed and having somebody touch you and touching other people, that is really a very normal response, and it could happen to any of us. So it's just something that I did want to point out really quick.
Absolutely. And because our clients haven't said anything, it's not okay to assume that they're okay with what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually noticed recently, and this is sort of off topic, that a lot of therapists don't listen very well to their clients. I've had so many massages where I may as well have just walked in and not said a thing because they did what they wanted. They did not listen to what I wanted at all. And yes, the therapist does know, we do get it that the therapist will be like, okay, they just want their back done, when really we do need to work on the pecs or the arms or something else. So we do get that a little bit. But if a client is asking you to work on a specific area of the body, you need to ask them, okay, what's happening with that? What's going on? What can we do? And then actually do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that pain is not always in the area that they are feeling it. But to not work on the area that they specifically want you to work on, that's where you need to go first.
Yes. And somebody, I don't know who said this to me, but first and last, David.
Probably that is a very good practice.
Yeah. So that way they remember, I personally need have a lot of issues with my neck, and so I like my neck being worked on. Usually I actually need that, and the amount of times that I have had about 5 minutes of massage on my neck when I've specifically said my neck is an issue, I need this area worked on.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
Back when I was at massage school, and this was a lesson that I took away from being in the student clinic. There I was learning my remedial techniques, and this person has come in. I'm seeing them for the first time. I've taken their history, and they talked to me about their back pain and blah 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 blah. And I was learning a very particular style of body work, which is not very common. And I didn't explain my techniques to her, so I'm pulling on her leg, and I'm stretching this, and I'm pressing here. And at some point, she's asked me, "When is the massage starting?" And at that point, I knew, crap.
Oh, whoops.
Her feedback of the session was quite long, and I had a learning point to take away from that.
Yes. But that was in student clinic, right? So,
it was.
So that's okay. They, yeah, hopefully they understood that there might be some miscommunication.
Mm. It was a long time ago. Look, just circling back to as therapists, we often see ourselves as the expert in the room, and we are, except that our clients are the experts of their own bodies. And just because we know that the pecs have a role to play in shoulder pain, well, our clients might actually have a really good reason why they don't want you to work in a particular area. And it might just be that they don't like that part of their body, um, uh, uh, some form of dysmorphia. It might be because they don't like the feeling of being touched in that area, and feet is one of those things that comes up often. It might be because of a traumatic event associated with that part of the body, or they just may not get that working in that area of the body is actually beneficial. And so if you don't have permission, you don't touch it. Even if you believe that it is necessary to work there, you need to ask, you need to get that permission.
Absolutely. One area that is often very sensitive for people is the belly, the tummy. And as a pregnancy therapist, I ask every single time before touching a belly. So even if you've been coming to see me for 6 years and you're now pregnant and we're doing sideline pregnancy massage, and I saw you 2 weeks ago at 36 weeks and did some belly massage, and now you're at 38 weeks and you've come to see me again, I'm still asking because you might not want me to touch your belly today. It might be very sensitive. And people often hate that area of their body.
Yeah,
People don't like it. That's also ongoing consent. Just because you have actually worked on that area of the body before doesn't mean you get to do that in the future. Um,
totally.
yeah, it's something that is talked about a lot more these days, ongoing consent. But for very specific areas of the body, like the belly, which can be um, such a hated part of the body for a lot of
Mm.
people, it's something I think that is really important. Basically, anything front of the torso
Yeah,
should always be super well explained
yes.
and asked every time.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, there's a therapist near me, and I've had a few people who've now come in and to me and talked about this person. Um, Works out of a clinic, and there's people who love this particular therapist, and others who are like, I've just had this experience, and is this normal? And they say, okay, there's a bit of a language barrier. They come into the clinic. She tells them off for being fat, calls them lazy,
Oh
and
my
then
goodness.
the massage will start, which is often quite vigorous, and then she'll just whack needles in them without doing any proper intake, without consent. And if the client protests, tells them that she's the expert, this is what they need, and they just need to suck it up because they're soft.
Oh my goodness. Wow. If that had happened to me, I would very likely have be putting in a formal complaint for that. Yeah, that's a really big no-no. And particularly for needles, a lot of people
Yeah.
have um, issues with needles, whether that's a phobia or some kind of fear around needles, which is like super common.
Mm.
There's also the health risks as well.
Oh, absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
so we are bordering into what is assault,
Mm,
performing these types of work without consent.
yeah.
Um, and as health practitioners, um, if we are part of an association, so actually even before that, we're not an unregulated industry, as so many people like to say. We are unregistered health professionals. And there's a very
Hmm.
specific act, the Unregistered Health Professionals Act, which has a complaints and a resolution procedure. However, as therapists hearing about another therapist, we can guide our clients towards making a complaint, but we're not able to intervene and make that complaint on their behalf.
Yeah. I'm shocked. Why would someone do that? It's not okay. Like, yeah, that you're right. That is assault. Yeah, that is assault. I'm literally like, what? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here a bit shocked. Sorry.
Yep. And even within a medical setting, if you're going in, there are times when a medical practitioner won't ask for your consent, and that's usually because you're unconscious and unable to give it. But they would usually ask for consent from somebody, providing they can find it. Yes, it's not okay to just use medical instruments on a person without explaining what you're about to do.
Oh, David, there is so many things that happen mostly to women that we do not have time to go into because it's a lot and I will get very angry. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
apparently, I don't know if it happens as much anymore because people have figured out that, oh, this has been happening. But yeah, teaching
Mm.
hospitals.
Yep.
Yes.
Hmm.
Let's not talk about that.
That's probably another topic, another episode, and we'll get angry with each other. Okay.
We're just going to skirt back to what we were talking about before and forget that that bit ever happened. Yeah.
So, as Jackie said, anything on the front part of the torso, okay, quads maybe not so much, but hey, inner thighs, be very, very careful. Um, any therapy that uses an instrument or might leave a mark, like cupping or gua sha, the skin scraping, like dry needling, and there's countless other tools, you must ask consent. One of our clients who did respond very well to cupping, and I had gained consent before doing the cupping. He'd had an old injury and he marked really, really quickly with very little pressure, and the marks were really dark and had a great response to the therapy. That weekend, he went to the beach with his friends and he took his shirt off because he was feeling comfortable, and they started to tease him because of the spots. I won't say what they called him, but it was derogatory towards his nationality, and it just happened to align with how he looked as well with those marks. And I never had consent to do cupping with him again, even though he responded so well to it.
Wow, that is awful.
Yeah, so if you're going to leave a mark, you need to tell them.
Yes, absolutely. Lots of people do know that that will happen with cupping, but not everybody does. So
No.
this is a part of consent is telling the person this is what's going to happen. This is what it's going to look like afterwards.
Mm.
I'd like to very quickly give a really positive story. Yes, because we are getting a little bit dark here. I actually recently had a massage, and I have not ever had dry needling done before this. So I've been a therapist for 10 years. I've never had dry needling done. I've never done dry needling or learnt it because I actually have a phobia of needles. And when I had this massage, just this is only a few weeks ago, um, the therapist wanted to do dry needling on me. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was very scared. I said, I'm not good with needles. I'm very unsure about this. And he basically said to me, after he explained where he wanted to put the needles and yada yada. He said, if you don't like it, I will take it out straight away, and like we just won't do it, and that's fine." And he was very adamant that I could just say, "No, that's it. I'm not happy with this,"
Yeah.
and we could take the needle out, and it would be great. And I actually felt comfortable in that situation, even though I have this terrible phobia about needles and don't like them and don't even like saying the word, I'll be honest.
Mm.
And the first one went in and I was not in any pain. He did a great job and he asked me, "How are you feeling? Do you want me to take that one out?" And I said, "No, it's fine." And I actually
Mm.
felt really good. And so he only put 3 needles into my shoulder. But yeah, I was thrilled. And that had actually made me want to experience that again because I felt comfortable.
Like an important part of what we do is reassuring our clients, but not just reassuring, but empowering them. They need to feel empowered as part of their treatment. They need to feel in control because this is their body, their most sacred thing. It's their body. They need to be in control. They need to feel like they're in control. And the research is quite clear that clients who have good rapport with their practitioners and who feel empowered as part of their treatment have better treatment outcomes than those who just feel like they're having stuff done to them.
100%. Yes. Yes. As you said before, we are the experts, the massage therapists. We know what we're doing, but the client is the expert with their body. They know what's happening for them. They know the pain they're feeling, the discomfort. Yeah. So absolutely, David.
Mm. And so this is where communication is just so important. And as part of our intake, asking them about how they're feeling for the day, why are they here? They can tell you about what they're experiencing with their body, and then asking them a simple question of, have you ever had a massage before? And maybe their only experience of massage is having one on the beach in Bali or something, or they've only ever been to the shopping centre or to a day spa or whatever. And then so you can ask, what are your experiences? What did you like? What didn't you like? Where would you like me to work? And all important things of gaining a really good history and gaining that consent to be able to do good work with that person.
Absolutely.
We probably all have some clients who are stripping off their clothes as they walk through the door and they just want to dive straight onto the massage table, spare the chit chat and just get cracking. And these are the people who are totally comfortable with you or with me, with us. And they trust us implicitly that we're going to do the right thing every time.
Yes, those people are awesome.
They are fun.
They are. On the other end of that spectrum, you've got people who are new to massage and they need to be treated a little bit differently. For a long time, I actually got quite a few clients would come to me who had either never had a massage before or who had literally only had one massage ever. And sometimes it would be as you said earlier, from Bali or just a shopping center massage. So I got really good at speaking with these people who were very timid and curious about massage and wanting a really wonderful experience, but not knowing the questions to ask, not knowing what to say. And yeah, it was very interesting because it was not just like over a couple of months, it was years. I get all these new people come in and they really were very keen to get regular massage. It was a very interesting time, but I got very good at the communication and talking to them and saying, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. How do you feel about XYZ? And I basically explain everything about the massage before they'd even consider getting their clothes off. So, yeah.
It is a fun time working with someone who has never had a massage before. It's a very special time that they're coming in and they're asking you to trust us with their bodies and with their health.
Yeah, absolutely. And poor communication and no consent whatsoever is a big no-no in what we do. But I want you to understand that this is your opportunity to give your client a wonderful and positive experience. If you ask the good questions, if you take the time to explain to them, if you check in with your client, you're going to get great results and, most importantly, build and gain trust.
Trust is gold.
Yes.
So if the above stories have got you slapping the desk and saying, right on, keep in mind that what you're hearing about, that's your competition that are out there. So I want to encourage you to just keep on doing the good things and being a nurturing and a compassionate and a compliant therapist, because your clients are going to love you for that and they will tell their friends. So let's wrap this episode up, Jackie.
Awesome.
So if you like what you are hearing in these episodes, the Folding Towels podcast, why not hit that subscribe button in your favorite podcasting app, whether that be Spotify, it could be Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or iHeartRadio, where why not leave us a rating that helps us to get found as well and gives us some encouragement to keep on doing the things. And if you have a topic that you really love and are passionate about, look us up on Facebook or Instagram. The links to those things are at the top of this podcast. Have a look at those buttons. Leave us a comment, and we might even raise your question on this show.
Yes. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, Jackie, you have a wonderful afternoon.
I will. You too, David. You take care. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.